Here we go, buddy. Princess, we agree. Henry. Henry, get down. Henry. Good babies. There we go.